Hi. So on 8th of June, I tweeted around about at 9:22 a.m. when this particular candle was forming, that today Reliance can fly, and that's exactly what happened. So you can see that's from 27, 30, 40 levels when it was tweeted about. It went towards this level of 2800. So there was a very good intraday move which we got. The reason for this is using another logic. And the logic is pretty simple. Whenever you get such a strong candle at the very beginning, at the very start, right? So here you can see it was from 2740 and it started from 2715 levels. So there was a 25 point, right? So once this happens, and then in the next few minutes, say here for the next half an hour, you can see that this was never able to touch even the levels of 2731. So this actually gives a very good idea that this is not one of the stocks which is going to buckle up very which is going to bend and going for a trend reversal, because theoretically in Reliance, you see every chart is very unique, first of all. And Reliance is also a chart which is heavily manipulated for maintaining the stability in the market, right? And we will also do a very short analysis of Reliance, because I think if you are going to be a trader, so you should be having all this top 10, at least the nifty top weights. So just like every chart, it should be in your mind. You should have all the levels, you should know where the averages are, everything should be in your mind, so that you don't have to open a chart when you see a particular value. And the more you keep on doing it, then eventually these will automatically come to you. You don't have to think. So for me, what was more important was the 2740 levels, and this was exactly what I tweeted, that at 922 it went towards 2740 level, and then now it's now at 2730 levels, and this was my tweet. And I said then it can fly. The reason was pretty simple. The reason was I was just waiting for a confirmation of how far this particular candle will go. And on the top of that, it got a very good support from the VWAP, which is one of the indicators which I use. And eventually, when it went towards 2766, this was also a very important level. So I said I am going out of all my positions which were created on this run, and this is exactly what happened. Then it entered into a very good consolidation phase. Now if you look into my earlier videos where I have talked about how I do intraday trading based on the indicator, just like the VWAP. So you will find the videos at the top where I have done and this very recurring theme of how you can actually use VWAPs for your trading, or rather how I use VWAPs for my intraday trading and to gauge the sentiments. So here you can, and the videos will be in the top right hand corner. You can click and you can have a watch. One more is about Dr. Reddy, and the same pattern you will see for Deepak Night trade, which just happened even when Nifty broke a very important support level of 16,200. So the concepts are strong. And see, if the market is going high and the stock is moving, that doesn't prove anything. But if the market is falling and the stock is still able to hold the levels, so this actually showcases a very strong buying interest. And theoretically, these are the basic foundation where the positional trades of mine are selected from. And whenever there is a weakness in Nifty, I consider myself as a very lucky guy to be able to be witnessing these shots. So here after I tweeted, it had a fall, and then it was actually trading around about at these levels of 2750 and 27, very strong, very small level. And here, just around about at 1 o'clock, you have to understand this was also an expiry day. So around about 1 o'clock, it gave a very strong candle. So once you get a strong candle like this, say for here also, so this actually showcases that this value is something which is very hard to very hard to be overtaken in the very next, or in the next 4 5 candles. And I'm on a 5 minute chart, so in the next half an hour. So the more it's able to defend this 2566 levels, is the more power it has. And theoretically, you should be tracking these charts. So here also it gave a very good red candle, and these are my sort of trading you can say trading triggers, that when this a 2760 level was actually broken, and still it was only once that it touched the VWAP. And if you have looked into my earlier videos of Deepak Nitrite, and you will understand what I'm trying to say over here. So then after that, there was not a single touch on the VWAP, and it just kept on moving towards the levels, inching towards the levels of 2760. Now, when such a situation comes in where you can see it's making higher highs, higher lows, and it's not following the down move, right, and it's also going away from the VWAP. So these are very typical setups which you should be actually, you should not be jumping into the trade, definitely, but you should be monitoring them very closely, because a very good trade is going to come. And this is exactly what happened when this 2760 level was broken. You can see that, from here the volumes I have, this was the first time when this volume was actually getting added, and then eventually you can see this spike in the volume. So the reason was pretty simple. So once this was taken out, and again this 2766 acted, this is exactly one of the, I have seen a lot of traders who actually take this as a very negative, take this in a very negative way, because it tried to break the day's high, and then it was a huge candle. But what they don't understand is, if the stock is above VWAP, and your history has been that the VWAP was not touched for the 1 hour. So here we are around about at 2:30, and here we were at 1. So for 1.5 hours it didn't even touch the VWAP. So theoretically, your whole sentiment should be that, let it come towards VWAP, let it break the VWAP, then we will take some short trades, or we will close our long positions. So this was a very good indicator that right now the market is going to break in, and this was exactly the candle where I entered at the very end of it. And from there you can see this candle didn't have any wicks, and this, the reason was just because of this candle. So of course, we are just we are not doing algo trading, so of course there will be some sort of a delay, and of course all the data which we are getting is not real time. So the basically, don't wait for anything, just execute all the market orders and buy it at the market. And theoretically we were then able to catch this beautiful move. And then again I tweeted around about at 3 o'clock over here that I'm closing at 2800, because I knew even if it was trying to go towards 2820, that seemed very unlikely for me, because the Nifty was already at 16,500. So these moves like this, they are being initiated by some bigger smart money, and then small retailers like us, we jump in just to eat some chunks out of it. But we should be happy, because at the end of the day, we were in the trend, and we were in the direction of the market. So the more, see, you can always make money and you can always lose money. The market is all about that. But the more you are able to watch the trend, and the more you are, even if you're not taking a trade, but still, if you think, okay, I will go long at this, and this looks strong to me, if you know this particular structures, then going forward tomorrow, after 5 years, 10 years, when you will have money, then eventually these concepts will help you, because you have already gained your knowledge. So this move was fully sponsored, and since it didn't break the 2800 levels, so I was very skeptical. And this is exactly because the levels, because I saw a lot of PTSD trades for 2800, and believe me, you should never fall into these traps, because just like me, when I created a position over on this particular candle end, so theoretically I closed my positions over here, because I really didn't want to carry it, because I knew this was an expiry day move, right? And this eventually was very clear also on this particular day, when there was a gap down, and it was just dancing around the VWAP. So this was a very good candidate that, all this buying which happened was because of this trades, which were created by the smart money for the expiry. So theoretically, you can see that when this breakdown came at 2780 levels, which I again tweeted that 2780 is very important for Reliance to hold. From there, it was a total downward journey, and then eventually you can take the short trade. And the advantage is, you can see from so this happened at around about 11 o'clock, and from 11 to 12:30 over here, when it was in before entering the consolidation for this one, all the downtrend, in the downtrend, it never even went for the VWAP. So this actually showcases that this is a very strong downtrend, and when you are facing such a situation, never do this. This is exactly what people call as this trying to catch a falling knife. So these are situations where you should be actually waiting for a consolidation to happen, and this consolidation was this one which was happening. And I tweeted that Nifty was at 2724 on this particular day, on this particular candle. I tweeted that Nifty is 2724, but now it's important to